All right. Welcome to another episode of 9 Months Out. My toes are out once again because I'm a real one and I don't change for people. How you feeling today, son?
I'm feeling good.
Yeah?
I'm a little tired, but overall my energy is up today.
Why you tired of watching them dirty movies?
What? I don't know. I had a test today for psychology. I think it went pretty well. I don't know yet, but I'm staying optimistic.
Well, let me ask you. Have you figured out the rhythm and the cadence to like when you have success versus when you have failures and failures by your own expectations of self? Have you figured out what makes you successful in test preparation at all?
I think if anything, I've gotten a lot like better at it. So my main way of like testing out was like doing practice tests.
Okay.
Before I would just go through like flashcards, which does I still do that, but I do that and I also do like a practice test. So for psychology specifically, I would like there's a website they have, I forget the name, but they just have like a practice test for every module, which helps like saved me for a couple tests. Honestly, it really helps like go through everything. This year overall has been pretty light in terms.
Yeah,
of
you
like,
don't be doing nothing, bro. I ain't gonna hold you. Yo, you be chilling.
so I don't have a math class this year. I'm gonna take one
What?
so I'm gonna take one online for stats because just for a requirement, but I don't have the actual like core like math class.
Scammer.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm taking AP Government, but even in that class, the teacher I have is very chill. So my true teacher's on paternity leave right now. I think she just had a baby.
Maternity leave because she's a woman.
Oh, maternity leave. She just had a baby recently. We haven't had a test yet. I'm like,
Okay. As a parent, I'm getting alarmed.
okay,
Because you want to go to college and you know the rigors of collegiate academics is so different than I think the workload that currently gets assigned to you. Do you feel like you're being adequately prepared?
in I think most of my classes no. So
Most of your classes no.
yeah, it's either it's not that much work or it's a lot of work, but it's not necessarily difficult or too much to really deal with. So for English, for example, it's a decent amount of work, at least comparatively to my other classes, but the work itself isn't exactly crazy, or it's not challenging me that much, admittedly.
See?
um
That's what I be worried about. I'm not gonna hold you. Cause I observe. I mean, I see some of what you do, what you turn in. Like when I go to like back to school night and I'm listening to your teachers talk about just the curriculum and everything that they have planned for you for the year. I'm like, I don't know if this is going to prepare him. Your grades are legitimate though. I want to go on record. I don't want to make it sound like my boy out here skirting by, cheating the system. But just in your senior year, I've just seen like a real change in the amount of work you've been assigned and the kind of work you've been assigned. And I guess I would want it to be a little bit easier in my last year of high school too. I ain't
yeah.
gonna hold you. So my senior year of high school, I actually transferred to this high school, right? And I was on the basketball team. We were very good. We were like number 14 in the state. But I had these teammates who one of them is in prison for the rest of his life, and the other one's good brothers, love them. Shout out to Kamel, shout out to Khalif, but not the most academic brothers that you could hoop with. And so they used to take us out of our regular classes, and we used to watch movies all day long, like on some
Like
short bus. Like, and I was offended, but I also was like, oh, we ain't got to do work, and they just gave us grades. We didn't have an attendance policy. I never had to go to school. It's crazy. Anyway, it's like, yeah. So I understand you being like, yo, it's chill, because I barely went to school outside of basketball games. I forgot to acknowledge the higher power. All glory to God. You nodded? Are you nodding for God? Are we nodding for God?
I'm nodding in respect for that.
Do you want to talk about your perspective on religion and the spiritual realm and all the things?
We can save that for a later episode.
Okay.
I'm not feeling that conversation today.
All right. Okay. What's the most annoying thing about me for you? Shorten your list, champ. It looks like you want to
No, I'm trying
run
to
them off.
annoying. I mean,
You good? Safe space.
I'm trying to.
I don't whoop the boy, y'all.
I don't get annoying from you. I don't really feel that.
frustrating when you feel a little bit of angst or anxiety, and you're like, I know he about to go in.
I think a lot of people experience this where, let's say I'm about to do the dishes, and you're like, do the dishes. I'm like, into that. And one time, I remember I was walking into the kitchen to the dishes. I had the thing out, I'm pretty sure. And you're like, yo, do you do the dishes yet? And it's all out. And that was just, I was like, man, what? And it's like, it's
All right,
the
but
small
keep it a buck though.
Okay.
If I have to mention the dishes, that means they have not been done.
Which is fair. That's a fair point.
I know.
But if I am either going to or in the kitchen to do the dishes, then
Negro, you will walk around stuff that you have left out for days. So don't give me that. Just because you're in the kitchen doesn't automatically
okay. But
imply
if I have it out by the dishes and then I'm caught out for about the dishes, then
bro. Okay. All right. That's my annoyance.
yeah, you're not annoying. I'm never really annoyed.
What do you think annoys me about you?
Easy one to say is when I don't try to use my brain sometimes.
Oh, there's no other answer.
Yeah, sometimes I just don't think fully or all the way, and it's annoying for you. Yeah. So
Is it not annoying for you?
no, yeah, it's sometimes it's like what am I doing? It could get frustrating sometimes when I do that.
Have you ever like sat back and really thought about the reason why you don't think sometimes? That's funny. I'm asking you, have you thought about thinking?
I have, and I think sometimes it comes with a bit of anxiety or like in stressing situations. So when we were driving the other day, and when I kind of when I almost like hit that plant or whatever it was, I forgot what.
Multiple things that you almost hit.
Yeah, it was probably that was. Oh, I'm not trying to hit this thing. I'm trying to look out the road, and then you telling me, "Yo, watch out!" It was all of that combined. It was a lot to process in that moment, and it was stressful, definitely. So that kind of like it, in a way, like fried my brain, I guess you could say. Whereas it was
you glitched.
Yeah,
you major glitched. Like I that was crazy, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Like trying to teach you how to drive is definitely it's a challenge for me. It's the ultimate challenge of my patience. And I say that respectfully. I'm sure. I wasn't the same way because I could really drive. I was born to cruise, baby. But yeah, it's definitely one of those things as a parent that, as evolved as you think you are, as patient and kind and graceful as you think you are for your child, driving will test all of that and really will hold a mirror up to you. Like, are you who you thought you were? Like, do you have your emotions under control? Because before this year started, what did I tell you? Like, yo, I'm not yelling at you anymore.
Yeah.
Have I yelled at you?
No, aside from in the car, but
that was you about to crash the car, so that's different. I was like panic. Yeah.
So that's fair, but in terms, yeah, no.
But there's no more. We've graduated from that chapter. I have no reason to do anything other than talk to you in an adult way. So and if I have to yell it, then what I really should do is figure out a more effective way to say it. Because if I have to yell, it means I haven't done something properly. So me yelling is also a reflection of ineptitude on my behalf. And I had that realization. A church has really like inspired a new way of thinking for me. Being baptized really has made me prioritize the way I assess certain situations and whether or not I'm showing up to the full extent of myself, as opposed to just being like, well, why didn't you? And now I'm like, well, did you give him the information? Did you lead him accordingly? Did you do what was right? You got questions for me?
I do. Okay. So I think everyone experiences hate in some capacity.
Okay.
When it comes from personal life or just in the world in general. So with the hate that you get when it comes to friends or family or just close people in general or people like in life.
Mm.
How do you cope with that? How do you deal with that? How do you not let it affect you at the very least too much to a point where it's messing up your life in general?
Damn, Dylan. Shout out to my boy Bobby. You know Bobby, right?
Yeah.
Influx. Yeah. So Bobby, we literally had a conversation earlier today. I am very much, or can be very much, a slave to the perception that people have of me. I am bothered by the things that people think of me when they're not in alignment with how I view myself. I struggle with it mightily. I always say that I don't have haters, but there are for sure people who do not like me. I don't classify people as haters. I don't think any of the people who do not like me ever say it to my face. So I kind of feel empowered by that. Like they just don't like me. Um, hate requires interaction. You gotta like come see me or see about me if you hate me. The way that I've been dealing with it as of late, though, the way I've been forging through it, is really having talks about talks with myself about who I am. And I literally yesterday or 2 days ago wrote down a list of all the things that I have done that are beneficial to not just myself, but my community at large. And I sat down and I really assessed this list. And I was like, man, like I really do the things that matter more than myself. I really pour into entities and spaces that that need them. And when I'm focused and when I'm pouring out love into places, places blossom. So anything negative that people have to say about me at this point, I just think they just haven't been in one of those spaces where my love flowed freely, which means you don't even know me well enough to even have that perspective of me or to have whatever opinion, you know? Um, yeah. One of the areas I'm trying to be better in, especially, is with women. Like men don't really have a problem with me like that. I'm a man's man in some regards, whatever that means. Regardless of the clothes that I wear, you dig what I'm saying? Like it might be a little risque, but I don't really have a problem with men like that. But as far as women are concerned, sometimes, I get a bad rap for the way sometimes things play out, and it's usually my perspective versus theirs. And so I'm trying to do a better job of mitigating negative fallout, but that's tough.
So I have another question about I guess what you're saying. So why do you think people based off, let's say, like an example of you had a disagreement or something played out a certain way that you're for you went this way done another way and this was an agreement. Why do people take that situation and that blossoms into dislike and sometimes hate? Why do people do that? Especially like older people.
Usually it's rooted in just like how somebody was nurtured to believe or see the world. We can't, the way that you see the world is different because I'm your dad, and so your perspective is going to be different. So same for anybody else out there. I think that at times there's people have a lack of self-awareness. You're extremely self-aware, so self-aware that you harp on your limitations as opposed to thinking about the abundance of opportunity and possibility that exists within you. But other people don't know themselves that well. That's how people develop irrational confidence. So they think that everything they do is the right thing, and they lack perspective on the multitude of ways that things can play out. And yeah, usually it relates to accountability and a lack of self-awareness and acceptance. We talked last episode about like love being the ultimate display of love is acceptance, right? There are some people who just can't accept when things are different than how they envision them, and they become beholden to the idea and concept of what things should be. So, does that make sense?
It did. Yeah, I like the answer.
Yeah. It's people are tricky, bro. Listen, at 40 years old, I'm still trying to figure out and understand things that I thought I'd have understood and mastered long ago. And it doesn't get any easier. Let me tell you that, brother. I have a couple more questions for you. Ooh, you're not gonna like this. There was a statistic that came out that says that your generation is having way less sex than my generation.
Okay.
How do you think your peers view sexuality, do you feel like, I know you have, I won't say nobody's name, but you have a couple of friends who are hypersexual, but by and large, do you think, but by and large, do you think that your generation is consumed with sex and sexuality?
I don't know, cause I'm in very opposite worlds when it comes to that. So one side of what I hang out with are not, they don't either have sex or they're just not really in that world. My other side is really
Horny as hell.
yeah. A lot of us in our generation like to, they feel very, they don't really care about the risk in when it comes to sex. I think that's where I differ from a lot of people. I don't want to say I'm afraid of sex, but it's a lot of it is like really scary for me. But that's a big part of it, just not really caring. I think that's all with like drugs and vaping and all that. It's a whole other thing. But all of it is also desperation. I think a lot of people that I know are kind of just desperate for that level of, I guess it's not really affection,
Connection.
connection. And aside from even just the feeling of sex itself, just that connection with somebody, even if it's multiple people, a lot of us yearn for that because it's, if not hard to get, it's, we just want it. We all want it, and a lot of us want it too much, I would say. And it's to like an unhealthy degree. We're desperate for that, and we're like addicted to it.
The irony in that is that the way in which many of you seek it outside of sex is through technology, which is the most unrealistic or unreal way of connecting with people. You know, it's such a, yeah, it's so counterculture to the thing that you say your generation mostly wants. But I see it. But I think that hole that many of you want filled exists outside of your phones and outside of your rooms and away from technology. And it's just like you'd have the opportunity to connect with people and to feel like you're in real community if you actually went into the real world. But y'all don't really do that so much.
As much.
As much. It's rare. You've been to like 2 parties your whole high school career. Boy,
That's just me. I'm not like a party guy.
What guy are you?
Go to the park and like chill for a little bit.
You just be at the park by yourself.
Yeah.
Or do you be lying about?
No, I be at the park by myself, like I say I do. I just, it's just nice. I don't know.
Okay. Is there anything that brings you instant joy? Something simple, doesn't cost money, but you know when emotionally you're not in the best place, you can always tap into it.
I think this is more of a recent thing, but so I told you about how Mike wanted to make that a short film, Hot Dogs and Beans. Yeah, I've been more on it with that process, and that's been a big way of like joy for me recently. And it's really just it's fun, like imagining it, writing it a bit, just fleshing out the characters. It's really fun for me so far, and that's been a really just instant way of joy for me. Just, I mean, I'm not feeling good, just go on my phone and start typing whatever comes to mind about it, about, oh, this character is this way, just think, or even just imagining it about like a scene or how this is going to be shot. Just imagining that and getting into that creative space has been really just joy for me, and I'm really happy about it because being happy to make something is good, especially if you want to be like a job in the future. So I'm really happy that it's been such a positive thing for me as of recent.
All right. I will challenge you though to like try to create that outside of your phone, because I think the phone is also a prison. So feel how it is to create outside of the infrastructure of your cell phone, whether that's a laptop, pen and pad. You might find that there's new creative that comes across your brain and your mind that you're inspired by when you're not tied to the thing that you're always so tied to. I would challenge you just to take a different approach in your creative process.
Okay.
Yeah. What else you got for me?
Got some love questions for you this time.
Left questions.
Love questions.
Oh God.
Nothing.
You're a bastard.
Nothing specific. But what is what is the current dating scene like in your generation, and how do you feel about it?
Yo, you funny as hell. Sorry, what was was that the whole question?
Yeah. So, what's the dating scene like in your currently in your generation, and do you think it's in a good place? Do you think it's super negative? Do you think it's really easy to find love, hard, tedious? How do you feel?
Oh, you son of a beach ball. You funny for that. Yo, nah, it ain't so easy out here. I think lyrics, shut up. Nah, man, I think that my generation is getting a lot of things wrong. And I think that there's been a gross overcorrection in the dating market. And I think a lot of people are struggling between existing in the world that we were taught to believe exists and the one that we would like to create. And I don't feel like we've landed in the middle, which is where I think most good things happen in terms of love. So we exist in these very polar, opposite ends of the spectrums, men and women, and we're all struggling to find a level of peace. Living in LA is especially challenging because this is a city that is very selfish at its core because people come here to chase their wildest dream. So if I come to LA to make the biggest, most lofty thought in my mind come to life, then anything outside of that is a distraction. So in relationship and in love, I feel like it is the easiest thing for people to sacrifice, especially when it becomes challenging, because you always have the line of, well, it's too hard or it's taking away my energy for the thing that I'm really here to do, my purpose, my passion, whatever that thing is. But never have I met somebody, and I've met quite a few people who have passed on, but at the end of their life, have they been like, yo, like I wish I could have worked more. Like people, the thing that everybody wants at the end of the day is love. But unfortunately, I think that my generation just hasn't quite figured out what love even is. And I think that social media is a huge reason why we are so stumped and stupefied on what true love actually is and how it should look and feel. All these relationship experts and people who I would never listen to in a million years, who people are being inspired by. And yeah, no, it's tricky, bro. I don't know. The next time I'm on a date, I don't see it happening.
What do you think love is, or true love is?
um, I think I always say it's acceptance. Like that is, there's nothing more important, right? Like love to me, in the romantic sense of the word, is being like, okay, I see all of who you are, right? Like I see your flaws, I see your strengths, and I accept it. And the areas in which you want to work on, that you identify as problematic, I'm here to be a support system, and vice versa. I really hope if ever I date again or whatever, like I really hope the person that I'm in relationship with is somebody who has interest about me, who's intrigued by me. Um, because if somebody's not studying you, if somebody's not being mindful of ways in which they can have a positive impact in your life and your world, then that's not real partnership. That's just somebody who's around. And so love is impactful. So, that I need somebody who's going to impact me in a way that allows me to see things that maybe I didn't even see. Show me my blind spots, show me who I am not. Show me who I am. When I tell you this thing, are you going to judge me because I'm not this thing, or are you going to help me get to the point of being? That's what love is for me. Yeah. That was deep. Yeah. I can't believe you sat here and asked me about love. So I was gonna tell this story. So we're so in sync, bro. I love you so much, man. I love you, bro. Like you are the closest spirit that I've ever known on earth. There was one more spirit that I was extremely close with and will always and forever have love for. And I gotta say this without saying this person, but a couple of like 3 years ago, I sat right here at this bar and I was very emotional, right? Like somebody that I love dearly, I realized that I had to let them go, and I gave you this very long speech about the fact that they would have to let you go as well. And because your relationship with that person, I felt like was also kind of keeping them in a bondage, in a captivity. And so I was bawling crying, G. I was bawling crying. And I'm like, yo, you know what I'm saying? I don't think you should be communicating with her. It's just, she needs to be freed up to da 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 da. And you looked at me and said, while I'm bawling crying, he said, well, I mean, you sound kind of selfish. And I was like, what? But you were 1,000% correct, And in that moment, your discernment and your emotional intelligence showed through so brightly, and I was blown away because normally when somebody is standing in front of somebody who's as emotional as I was in that moment, like this, there's a lot of love in that situation. And for you to see through my tears and hear what I was saying and be like, yo, dad, like I understand you're emotional right now, but you're also wrong. And I thought that was so powerful, and I thought that was the ultimate display of love from you in that moment, to like see me clearly and acknowledge that I was wrong. And if you recall, I stopped crying immediately. I was like, it sobered me up. It was one of the realest conversations I've ever had, and I had it with you at the time. I believe we're 16, 15, I don't know, but like that that showed me a lot about who you were, G. I was blown away. You're a different kind of dude. Where do you think you get your emotional intelligence from?
I don't know. I my best guess would be you, because you are definitely more emotional intelligent compared to a lot of people that I've just met in my life. So I guess I kind of siphon from you. But I don't know. I think, yeah, I just I can't really pinpoint what the source is or how. It's just, I feel like I just have it. It's hard for me to really understand it, or understand why. But yeah, it's just a part of me, I would say.
It's special, bro. It really is a gift. And I always had it, but I used it for evil. Not evil, but I used it for bad. I used it to put myself in situations to get things that I wanted. And I think you use it in the purest way possible, and I just think it's phenomenal. I think I love the way I love the way your mind thinks when it comes to moments of emotional intelligence. Which is why I get so frustrated when you just go completely blonde and you're not present. I'm like, dog, you're so smart. Like, can you please like use your brain?
Yeah.
Because I know what's there. Um, Not too much more, but is there one piece of advice that I've given you that stuck with you more than others? One thing that you're like, yeah, like that thing is what I'm gonna live by or subscribe to.
I think so. Your overall lesson of me being hard on myself, I think that's what that's been a thing I've been more like conscious of. I've really been thinking about this past, I guess, school year. Um, and it's definitely been. I think that's one of the things that messes me up the most, or has messed me up the most. And you really calling that out is saving me, honestly, a lot of emotion, a lot of anger, or anger at myself,
Mm-hmm.
because I learned from you saying that, and also just from me trying to stay positive, that it's it's always, you have to make sure you check yourself and you're aware of your faults and your wrongs and your mistakes to learn from them. Harping on it and staying so in that moment, it doesn't really do anything for you. It doesn't do much for you aside from keep you in that negative space. It doesn't benefit you. It just keeps you sad. And think about it, it's a weird thing. So you know how people, when they're sad, listen to sad music, or they keep themselves in that space. And I used to kind of do that. I used to just listen to sadder songs when I'm crying or whatever. But I realized that doesn't. I mean, yeah, it feels good to be sad or to
No, it's
cry
real.
in
Yeah.
a weird way.
Yeah.
It's like it's comfortable to stay in that space, but it's not actually benefiting you or good or healthy. Trying like forcing yourself to get out of that and really just feel better or seek actual like seek actual happiness after that. I think that's been the thing that I've been on recently, and you calling me out or just being on me for being so hard on myself, that's really it really helped. That's been the thing that you taught me. That's like yeah, I need to that's the thing I need to make sure to really internalize if anything.
Okay. That's a good one. That's a good one. Any other questions?
I did. So
If you ask me some more about women,
no,
we're
no,
gonna
no,
fight.
no. What's a career path that you think that if I were to do that, even if I never thought of it, if I was to go down that career path, you think I would really like succeed in?
I want you to live a financially abundant life. But if you were a teacher, you would body that. You would smoke being a teacher because you have a natural nurturing thing about you. And I watch it when you babysit my friends' kids, or Lexi, whatever. Like, I see how you are with children. You've been that way since you were small, which is the ironic thing. Like, you were a child and other children, you'd be like, "Are you okay?" And it was just like, stop. But yeah, I think if teaching compensated you in a way that would allow you to live as comfortably and as freely as I know you desire, then I would say Dylan being a teacher makes all the sense in the world. All the sense in the world.
I thought about that if I were to be one. And I didn't see it, but you putting it in that way of the nurturing side of it, yeah, I could.
Bro, you would smoke that. You would smoke that. Kids would love you. You got a heart of gold. And if nothing else, children need those kinds of people, those kinds of spirits around them, who are going to handle them with a level of care that I think that you just naturally embody. So, yeah. All right, let's wrap this thing on up. Yo, do I cry too much? Am I too much of a crier?
No,
No?
I wouldn't say that about anybody.
Oh, so I do cry too much, but you just think,
No, I can't. What? I wouldn't. I think people can cry in situations that don't, that if not require it, don't really, not necessary. But to say you cry too much, I feel like that's denying you of your emotions. If you're gonna feel that, then feel that. What's wrong with that? Why should you say you're feeling why you should say you're feeling this emotion too much?
yeah. Ever since like 35, it's been like, I don't know. This a subtle breeze can make me cry. It's crazy, bro. But I made it through this whole episode with no tears.
Congrats.
See, that be the smart aleck joint that like I really wanna I'm gonna bop you, bro. Just like, once again, thank you for your time and thank you for your wisdom. You're a wise young man, and I love the way your brain is operating and functioning right now. I see you. I see you clearer than I ever have, and hopefully you see yourself in the same way. You're special, B. You're a special dude, man. LA or New York?
LA.
LA. It's a traitor. It's a traitor.
New York's cool, but LA. If I had to choose LA.
We're gonna talk more about that. 9 months out. My name's Rodney. What's your name? Just the first.
Dylan.
You awkward ass Negro. I love you, brother.
I love you too.
Thank y'all for tuning in. Yeah.
I'm going to bed. I'm tired. It's past my bedtime.